People deluded, I'm back again. Now, what was I going to talk about? Chelsea, obviously, Chelsea, the top four race, people. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan, but it's entertainment. It's pure entertainment. I feel, obviously, City and Liverpool, they've been running away with the league for a while now. It's cat and dog. 1 minute Liverpool top, 1 minute Chelsea, not Chelsea, City, sorry, are on top. So you've got that whole little thing. Them two are doing their thing in regards to first and second respectively. I feel it's not being spoken about enough, but the back relegation race, there's not much in it between all them clubs down there, and I feel the top four race is these are the real entertainment ones, because for a minute it was Chelsea, United and Arsenal competing for that one spot. It looked like United were out of it. Resurgence under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Arsenal's been a bit wishy-washy, but we're hitting form at the right time, and although I believe on paper we've got the most favourable games, there's some tough away fixtures for Arsenal personally, and there's no easy games. And you look at Wolves away, I think Arsenal personally going to drop points there. Forgive me if I'm wrong, and I hope to be wrong, but it's not as white and black as just seeing that. I believe Spurs, if I remember rightly, definitely Chelsea and definitely United, they've got top 6 rivals to play. We haven't. Now, Chelsea are in a good spot before that. Spurs, obviously, I still think Spurs are going to get third. Don't get me wrong, people. I want Spurs to come 6th. I would love it to happen. I just feel they will get it, man. But obviously, my opinion is not fact. I hope to be wrong. But through Spurs messing up at their own accord, they've brought themselves back into the 3rd and 4th race. Not that I'm saying that they're in it with everybody, but in the sense that they were running away with 3rd. There's a point or so now, or whatever. Or it's not much, because they haven't been picking up points where they should have, and they've drawn themselves into this race for 3rd and 4th. They're both up for grabs. Chelsea were in a good spot, because although they were 5th, 6th at a time, they had 2 games in hand, and they've kind of messed it all up now, obviously following the latest 2-0 defeat to Everton. Now, there's a lot of inquests. If Arsenal go and lose, then I'm going to ask the same question, because firstly, Everton cannot keep a clean sheet, and they kept a clean sheet against your players. That's the first strike. 3 points against Everton at this point in the season. No disrespect to Everton, but you need to go and get that. That's the second strike. And just a toothless second half, like similar to Arsenal at the beginning of the season. Obviously a bit different, but similar. We were a tale of 2 halves. Second half, we would turn on the style, and first half, we was a bit woeful. Chelsea out too many times this season, like against Everton. I've seen Chelsea personally be on fire in the first half, or if you think on fire is a flattery, be playing well, and then it just all going down the toilet in the second half, like you saw. Obviously, there was a bit of circumstances that were a bit fortunate to Everton, and I also don't want to just focus on how poor Chelsea were in the second half. You have to give credit to Everton, because they battled, to be fair. Even when they were under pressure in the first half, at the end of the day, they battled. So, yeah. As an outsider looking in, I just see Chelsea in some really big trouble. And again, these things can change. And we need to remember Chelsea are they're a point behind United in 6th. United are a point or so behind us. It's still quite tight. No conclusions can be made. There's still a decent amount of football, both mathematically and just looking with your eyes, to be played. So we can't draw too many conclusions. But as an outsider looking in, I do think Chelsea should still target both the Europa League and the top 4, but you're thinking, is the Europa League the best angle, trying to win it for a second time in the club's history? Because the way they're playing, obviously they can turn it on, but especially the away form. One away win 2019, and this coming from an Arsenal fan who doesn't know what it's been like to win away from home more time. That's not good enough. For me, clean sheets, I don't know if statistics back it up, but whenever I watch Chelsea, the lack of clean sheets, or when they do keep a clean sheets, like us, there's some close calls. It looks like, I like Rudiger, but Rudiger, Luis, for example, and whoever was there yesterday, and Alonso and Aspilicueta, there's just silly mistakes, unable to concentrate for high periods of time. And again, you can speak about Sarri and all of these things, but once upon a time, these players, or not all of them, but you get the point, were playing under Conte and Jose Mourinho. We obviously both had their own issues, but they're both very defensively well-drilled coaches, or can drill a side. And even Aspilicueta, he's a good defender. You don't turn poor defenders overnight. Obviously, there's form and the manager's tactics and all of these things. There's not one angle to necessarily side that, but I do think players get away with a lot. So a lot of that's on the players. Obviously, a lot of it's obviously to do with Sarri's coaching as well. We can't get away with that. I just think between the clean sheets, inability similar to Arsenal to concentrate for high periods of times collectively over 90 minutes defensively cost them, ultimately being a tale of 2 halves. And you'd think the Europa League is the best angle, because again, I'll say it for the 10th time in this vid, I believe mathematically they can still get top 4. If I was the manager, I'd still believe in it. Obviously, they've got Prague, and it's not an easy game, but you'd think they can get through that. you could say on one hand they need to prioritise one at this part of the season, but mathematically it's doable to get both, so I don't think they should panic. It should be cause for concern, obviously, the way they're playing, because like I said, they've got two. I do expect them to go through against Prague, but you can't underestimate any side at this moment in time. There's still 180 minutes of football to be played where we don't know what's going to happen. We also got to factor in fatigue because there's a lot of games to be played now, and they're coming thick and fast. So obviously, it's international break right now, but you get the point. They've obviously still got to play United and Liverpool. The United game, I would normally say it's a 6-pointer. That's arguably a 12-pointer for Chelsea now. They've got Leicester away at the end of the season, similar to us, which is not going to be an easy game. I'd expect them to beat Watford, but Watford have been in good form all season and are having a good year. West Ham are a bit wishy-washy, but you know West Ham, like against Arsenal, sometimes against Spurs, West Ham like to just turn up and spoil other London clubs' parties for no reason. So you think initially you'd be inclined to believe that they'd have to focus on Europa League, but I still think if it's mathematically possible, man. I know there's rumours in regards to Surrey losing the players. I think he has and hasn't. I do think some of the, because at the start of the season these players were praising how he played and stuff and things like that. Surely you don't just, I know footballers are fickle and humans in general are fickle, but surely you don't just turn on a man overnight. No, it's not overnight, but still, people. I think yes, because the way they're playing suggests that. When you look at, obviously it happened ages ago, but the Kepa thing as well, the fact that no one really tried to get Kepa off that pitch, and the fact that Kepa done it, maybe it leads to you to believe that Surrey's time is done. Ironically, I do believe, not even if it's not Surrey, I do think Chelsea, where the manager does, I don't want to say deserves to be sacked, because I think he deserves time, but there's not really anything for me to defend him with in regards to time. So you could say he deserves the chop based on how Chelsea have gone about things in regards to their management. But I would say, ironically, I do think Chelsea need to make a change in that they, again, I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I'm not saying I know anything, but I do think because of obviously the cycle of Jose would come in, win, and then sack. Conte the same, and just the theme of Chelsea, or even if you look at the Scolaris, the Avram Grants, and things like that, and many other examples, AVB, I do think, obviously they're all different, but I do think Chelsea have now reached a period where, if Surrey, for example, just give the man time, let him kind of work with it, give him another season or so. I'm not saying they have to, but I think they need to give a manager time and to weather this sort of storm, or just see what he can do and get through this, because player power is a big thing in football without a doubt. And I do think in regards to Chelsea, the player, obviously not everyone would, the players ultimately will stay before the manager because of player power. Pogba won against Jose Mourinho. Do you see what I'm saying? It remains to be seen over Ozil and Nuno Emery, for example. But there's many other examples you see. Chelsea players have the luxury. I think they know that and things like that. So maybe the club have to make a tough decision. But as an outsider looking in, I still think they can get top form. Mathematically, it shows. But the form they're playing is obviously looking a myth. But the great thing about football is week to week, these stories change. A week is a long time in football. So yeah, we've still got a lot of football to be played. They need to get their act together. Of course, I hope Chelsea don't get their act together. I'm an Arsenal fan, but yeah, I've got nothing more to say, people. So people, Deluded, thank you for watching. I'm out.